We live in a world where your fridge, your watch, and even your doorbell know as much about you as your best friend. But what about all of that data flowing into your local 911 center? Helpful? Creepy? Or both? That's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a certified NENA ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week, I bring you the latest news and information about public safety and next generation 911 services and solutions. Today we're talking about privacy in the age of always-on sensors, and how your smart stuff might be a little too smart when it comes to 911. Right now we live in an age of always-on. Smart speakers listen, wearables monitor your pulse, your car calls 911 before you even know you've crashed, and your doorbell camera keeps more footage of your neighbors than Netflix has sitcom reruns. And here's the kicker. The public expects 911 to magically plug into all of this data. But should it? Let's look at the obvious suspects. Consumer gadgets like Alexa and Siri, they're always waiting to help or mishear you ordering pizza. Wearables. Apple Watches are calling 911 because you tripped over your dog. Vehicles. Crash detection systems that dial before you even unbuckled your seatbelt. Buildings. Smart fire panels and occupancy sensors probably know more about your office than HR does. And then there's infrastructure, like traffic cams, gunshot detectors, and license plate readers. Basically the city version of helicopter parents. The promise for public safety. Now, let's be fair, this tech is incredible. It can detect an emergency faster than a human. It can provide call takers with richer context, like video, audio, and even vital signs. And with AI, multiple sensors can be cross-checked to prevent false alarms. Sounds great, right? Well, hang on a second. Here's where it gets a bit tricky. Consent. Did you really agree to your Ring camera sending your neighbor's barbecue footage to the PSAP? Scope creep. If they can access your doorbell today, what's next? Your smart fridge tattling on your midnight ice cream runs? Data ownership. Who owns all this? You, Amazon, or the dispatcher forced to watch it? Safety versus surveillance. Saving lives without accidentally creating Big Brother is kind of a tough balance. Agencies are now starting to ask, do we even have the legal right to access this stuff without permission? Will new standards like NENA's IRI cover guardrails for handling it? What happens if a device should have reported something but didn't? Who's liable? And once 911 touches the data, does that make it public record under FOIA? Yikes. And what about what the public thinks? Do people even know that their smart devices could be part of the emergency ecosystem? Younger folks probably shrug it off, saying, they already track my Starbucks points anyway. For the older generations, it's more like,
get off my lawn and get off my Wi-Fi.
And the truth is that the transparency from vendors is still pretty fuzzy at best. So what's the fix? Maybe keep it opt-in. Let citizens decide. Share the minimum necessary information. There's no need for the PSAP to know your Netflix password. Set strict retention rules so that this doesn't live forever. And above all, you need to use oversight and auditing so public safety doesn't wander into surveillance territory. Look, here's the bottom line. The same technology that can make 911 smarter can also make it scarier. The challenge is figuring out how to save lives without surrendering privacy in the process. That wraps up this episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. I hope that the podcast was educational for you and you learned something new. If you like what you heard today, please drop a like and be sure to tell your friends. And don't forget to leave a comment and let us know. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you just want to bring up a topic of your own, reach out to me on social media at Fletch911. Who knows, maybe your idea will be the topic of a future podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. This is Fletch. Stay safe and take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.